loses to Niger, and South Africa will go through with us.
Yes, Algeria could be having maybe the same goals with us, but what is key is that head-to-head Algeria beat us. So if we happen to have the same goal difference, then Algeria will take the position courtesy of the head-to-head scenario that was decided by CAF in this CHAN. However, what is key is that Niger is not going to walk out as a loser. They'd like to also get points to go back home and say, yes, we're out, but we represented the flag high. So just in case Niger beats Algeria, then it is good for us to go. We shall have qualified, much as we shall not have qualified as the first in our group.
All right, that is the mathematics that is involved in this, but the good thing about this particular game is that Uganda for the first time comes into a game and its momentum is in its own hands. Its destiny is going to be determined by the 11 that coach Molebye Kwanso and the rest of the technical team have put out. And tell you what, we are missing, like Simon told you, we are missing Joel Serunjoji, midfield anchor, man, who scored the second goal for us against Niger. But we thought that there would be a couple of lads in the middle of the park, but he hasn't actually put in a strong man midfielder. The lineups that he brought out, there is a Jonah Kakande Patrick of Sports Club Villa. He is starting this particular game. Joel Mutakubya, he is the goalkeeper. Marvin Mugweri Kizito is the right fullback. On the left is Herbert Achai. In the center of the defense are two hard men that have conceded no goals so far. Torach Rogers and Hilary Mukundane. Jackson Mayanja, we've gone 2 games without conceding a goal, and the coach maintains the same defensive partnership that has seen us through this. As a coach, right decision?
Yeah, I think you don't change a winning team. You cannot change a winning team, and I think they have done a wonderful job. 2 games minus conceded a single goal. They have really fought, put their heart. They have fought for the badge. They have fought for the country.
Yeah, but in the midfield, Jackson Mayanja, I know you are more going forward during your days, but you needed an anchorman, the George Nsimbes of this world, to ensure that they protect you and get the ball to you. We are missing Joel Serunjoji, and today what the coach has done, he has introduced Patrick Jonah Kakande, and that means this leaves us with one holding midfielder, Enoch Sebagala. Doesn't that make us lose? Because the rest of the lads up front look forward. Jude Semugabi, Regan Impande, Alan Okello.
I think the only thing that he has brought in a player who is an attacking player, that we need to win this game tonight. We need to win this game tonight. The only problem that even the South Africans are not so hard. They are playing that crafty type of football. So I think the only problem would come when the defending part comes in. But going forward, I think Patrick Kakande is the right person, was the right player to bring in on the absence of the other Joel Serunjoji.
Yeah, the South Africans are boss of a couple of players. Tabiso Kutumela, we've seen him, he's non-attached, but of course with alignments to Memorial Sundowns, he's in there and looking for a team maybe that can take him on. And this is one of those games he's very sure that the world is watching, because it's against Uganda, the hosts, and it's for a place in the quarterfinals. Simon Musoke, can we take the South Africans for granted that we can have only one solid midfielder, no double pivot this time round? Because I don't think Kakande can do the double pivot. He's going to play ahead.
We can't take them for granted, but what is key that our fans out there need to know is that once you start attacking, then the team you're playing against reduces on the way it is attacking you. So I'm expecting that much as we are looking at only Enoch Sebagala, we have a young man in the names of Karim Watambala, who I think is going to balance the gap, to balance it with Enoch and Karim Watambala. However, what is very key for the Ugandans in today's game is to look out for a one causer. I think that is Kutumela in the South African team. He's the chief supplier, I think the best supplier of the ball in this CHAN tournament today. And once we close out Koza, the problem we're thinking about in the midfield won't happen. But for as long as we can't outmark Koza, then we're going to have a very big gap and we'll miss Joel.
Yeah, of course, the South African coach Molefi Nseki has put out a squad that can hurt Uganda, and if we are not dead careful, especially in transition, we may be a suspect. Jackson Mayanja, the South Africans play off every kind of football. They can play tiki-taka and off the long ball. How can we get against them?
And I think that is the most important thing, like I said earlier on, that we've brought in a team which is going to attack for this game because we need a win. And the only problem will be how do we press when we don't have the ball? When we lose the possession, we need to have the pressing. And that is a very, very, it has been always a problem in our type of football. But I think today the Cranes need to really to be very, very, very careful about the South African type of football. And when we lose the ball, we need to press hard.
Of course, for those of you that believe in superstition, I don't actually do. The Uganda Cranes have been phenomenal when playing away from home in this championship of Africa. No, when playing at home in this when playing away in this championship of African Nation. We played away against Guinea and we won that game 3-0. We were at home against Niger, and of course, yes, we won the game, but it wasn't the best of results, best of performances that you can write home about. But today we play away again. Simon, do you believe in superstition?
I'm not a believer in superstition,
but it works.
But this tournament is this tournament. It has to be put on record that in this tournament, in every game, Cranes has scored.
No,
that in every game where Cranes has scored, we've managed to take home the 3 points. So what is going to be key today is how we find the first goal for the Cranes. Then, in the issues of defending, yes, we're ready to go, and the boys are there to bring the results home.
Of course, I continue to thank the government of Uganda, the government of Kenya and Tanzania for enabling Pamoja to come to East Africa. It's been a wonderful tournament for us thus far, 17 match days, and of course, even in the group that has no East African nation per se, in terms of the host, Sudan is leading in Group D, Uganda is leading in Group C, and of course, Tanzania and Kenya already through in Group A and B. Uganda looking to become the other East African nation to go through to the quarterfinals. Jackson Mayanja, you've been through such games in the past. How much pressure are these boys feeling?
First of all, I think they have come very far to reach at this stage, whereby they need a qualification game today, and this is the game. It has come today, tonight. There's no any other day, and the pressure was there before in the first game against Algeria, and after that, I think the pressure is too small, not so big. They have really managed to come from behind to uplift the morale of the players, and I think everybody in the camp is okay now and ready to fight for the country.
As we went ahead with our broadcast from the fan zone at the King's Park in Bweyogere, of course I would like to thank DJ Tony Wallace. DJ Tony Wallace, you're going to call my family at home and tell them that because of you, you've re-energized my old mojo, and I'm going to go out tonight and party because you've been simply out here early in the day, because we arrived around 8 a.m. and we've lived through your music. Thank you very much, everyone here. Thank you very much, Government of Uganda. Thank you very much, the local organizing committee. Thank you very much, Ministry of Education and Sports. Thank you very much, Federation of Uganda Football Associations, that ensured that Kibo Media is up here with us, and we are going to enjoy a wonderful night. When the football starts, I know we shall enjoy it. The Cranes have got to work for the result, but I know it will come. But without that, there is nothing else that we need to celebrate before the Cranes can get the result. But after the Cranes get the result, and whether they do or not, by the way, we are going to be entertained by a couple of artists in Uganda, and none beats them for tonight. Palazzo. Palazzo is one musician who is going to come here and down here and do his thing for us amidst the music. There is no difference between sport and music. Sport and music move and live together. Thank you very much, everyone that has kept us entertained. The B13 of Biranji Ranji, you've been one of those that has kept us entertained throughout the day, and hopefully as we build into this big game, it's going to be one that we shall enjoy the icing on the cake with the Uganda Cranes victory in this. If you've just joined, the Cranes are playing South Africa at the Mandela National Stadium, NAMBOOLE, formerly a fortress. Of course, there are times when you lose games, but we win most of the games down there. And tonight is one of those days where a result for us will see us through for the very first time in the knockout phases of the Championship of African Nations, where Uganda first played in 2011 in Sudan. We've been through all the editions that have come thereafter, and here we are with about a few minutes to kick off historic game where we can all say, I was there where the Cranes were qualifying. Simon Musoke, as we prepare to go down to the stadium, the South Africans have assembled a squad that can hurt Uganda. How important is the 12th man down at the stadium to energize the boys?
The 12th player, who we call the football fan, is extremely critical. When you look at giving you the support, calling you where your morale is down, then I'm very sure that if the 12th player does play his part, we're going to have the best of the game today. However, what is it that the Ugandans want? We've been to a very long time where football has been pushed by government and the federation. Unfortunately, we've not been able to make it to the table of men. So today, here comes a chance. It is at home, and what do we need? Nothing else there. Let's hunt for that goal. I'm 100% sure the 12th person will give us all they have to give us.
I'm going to request a colleague of ours who's joined us as we carried out this broadcast, Haruna Chobe, to join us, because Haruna Chobe is the one of the lads in this country who knows a lot about football. The only thing I'm going to tell him, I'm going to request him to tell Ugandans is who role, because Haruna Chobe is the only one who's been there and knows exactly what Jackson Mayanja did on the football pitch and how many of Come, it's my set, come, don't worry, come. No, come. Haruna Chobe is attached to Viper Sports Club in Uganda, but no one in Uganda knows the history of football like he actually does. And I'm going to request you to talk to Ugandans about who Jackson Mayanja is.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to yet again another epic crash when Uganda will be fighting to qualify for the quarterfinals of this African Nations Championship for the first time in our history. Amidst us is a football legend, Jackson Mayanja, Mia, 100%. And most of you do not know how that name came about, but with us here, we have a football in 1985 boy during ridge matches. You used to see a younger little lad doing the work at the Nashville Stadium. So in 1985, Police FC spotted the talent of a younger lad and they recruited him to be part of their first division team. However, he was used sparingly, being a young boy. And in 1987, KCCA Football Club spotted the little Jackson Mayanja and recruited him into their ranks. That very year, the late soccer wizard Philip Omondi was nearing his end of the career, and the Jackson Mayanja was looked at as his successor just at the age of 17 years. That very year, KCCA won the Uganda Cup, and Jackson Mayanja won his first ever silverware within KCCA ranks. KCC beat Sports Club Villa 1-0 in the Uganda Cup final, and that goal was scored by Frank Chaze. And in 1988, Jackson Mayanja made his debut on the continent when KCC qualified to represent Uganda in the Africa Cup Winners' Cup. And the tie was against Kalamu FC of Democratic Republic of Congo. And Jackson Mayanja featured in that game, despite KCC losing 1-0, but the guy had announced his presence on the Ugandan football scene. He made his debut for KCCA in the league against Zambia in 1987 in a 3-1 win for KCCA. And in 1989, Jackson Mayanja suffered a career-threatening injury, and that was a knee injury. Everybody thought he had left the scene, but the late Elvis Adipondo offered to pay for his operation in Nairobi, so he did not play football throughout to that year, 1989. In 1990, he returned back, fully recharged, and he was part of the KCCA team which won the Uganda Cup. That was his second trophy within just 3 years. That was also a Uganda Cup final where KCCA beat Sports Club Vida 3-0. And among the scorers was Jackson Mayanja. Then in 1991 and 1992, Jackson Mayanja was part of the KCCA team which won the league of 1981 before moving to El Mesel in 1992. El Mesel is from Egypt. Having spotted his brilliant talent, he was recruited in 1992, and in that team, that's where Mayanja Jackson made his name. And the Arabs loved the lad. That's when they named him Mia Mia, which means in Swahili, it's 100%, comparing to the talents Mayanja exhibited while on the Egyptian League. In 1995, Jackson Mayanja fell out with El Mesel and returned back to Uganda. But he spent here like just a year, and then Esperance of Tunisia recruited him that particular year. But after just 6 months, Mayanja returned to Uganda, and he captained the KCC to their 1997 league title. And in 1998, he was part of that team until when a career-threatening knee injury in 2000 forced him out of the game. So he started. He embarked on the coaching role. He started at URA. He is the guy who brought URA to the Uganda Premier League. That was 2001. From then on, Mayanja has been acting as a coach for different clubs. He was even once at our own Vipers during 2007, 2008, and 2009. So briefly, that's the Jackson Mayanja with you here, and maybe what I cannot exclude out of his profile, he once converted to Islam. That was once in Egypt when the fans loved him so much. A fan donated a horse to him and even gave out his daughter for Jackson to marry. But Jackson Mayanja decided to come back to Uganda to stay with his wife, and currently they have kids. Of course, in Buganda, we don't count kids, but he is a married man and happily living. He has a soccer academy and a school back in Mukono.
Well, that is Haruna Chobe. Don't go, Haruna, remain here. You came in late, you're a late comer, so you will stand here. Of course, at halftime, we shall bring you Majida Nantanda. Majida Nantanda is a camp instructor, one of those in Uganda, I think the earliest to ever achieve that status. A few women in Uganda do study football up to those levels that she did, but she is up there amongst those that can break down a game of football for you, but she will join us at halftime. Of course, Haruna Chobe, you came in, we're talking about a big game that comes up for us. I'm going to give you a moment before I task Jackson Mayanja to come back again to talk to Ugandans about this particular game, especially that Coach Molebie Kwanso has not gone for Marvin Youngman in the defensive midfield role to replace Joel Serojeju, who is out injured, and also importantly, Marvin Youngman is not even on the squad today.
Of course, going into this game, it's very crucial for the nation, and I believe every Ugandan will be playing that we get the required result. You know, when you are going to play a game and you have two options to take, sometimes it kind of comes with a lot of pressure on the boys. Because to be sincere, we have ever been in this kind of situation in this very African Nations Championship. You remember very well in our second appearance in South Africa, we were in the same group with Burkina Faso, Zimbabwe, and Morocco. And in that particular tournament, we had a game against Burkina Faso, which announced the arrival of Yunus Sentamu Jr., which we drew 0-0. So in our third game, we played against Moroccans, and that particular match, we needed a draw, just like the same situation we are in now. And in Morocco, we needed a win. And at the end of the game, we lost that particular match 3-1, failing to qualify for the quarterfinals. And the first forward, in the last edition, when we were in Algeria, you remember we opened it up with the DR Congo, we drew 0-0, and then beat up on Senegal 1-0. That's goal which was scored by Milton Kalisa. We went in our final match with the Ivory Coast, needing exactly the same result as we want today. At the end of the game, we lost it to Ivory Coast 3-1. So all Ugandans will now be praying for history not to repeat itself. But I believe the difference now and then is we are in neutral countries. But today, we are at our home ground in front of our own fans who have been passionate about this team. They have done everything possible to see that the Cranes perform. And believe you me, they have been part of this progress. And going into this, I pray the pressure do not mount on the boys. Because when you are in such kind of a situation and playing at home, you might end up having much pressure, which at the end of the day might play it into the hands of the opponents. But when you look at this South Africa, the way they played against Niger, the way they played against Guinea, you believe we have a goal. We are better prepared. And if it's not now, I think it will never be. Because, believe you me, 7 appearances at the African Nations Championship without qualifying from the group stages is quite a lot. So it's now or never, but I believe we have whatever it takes to jump that hurdle.
Well, that is Aruna Shobe. I told you he's a maestro when it comes to memory of sports events that happened in Uganda, especially football. Jackson Mayanja, you've got a big profile in football, but let's first maintain our focus on this championship of African nations. Chobe has told you that twice before we've bottled it when we are nearing qualification to go to the knockout phases. When was the last time you saw a Ugandan team play through pressure?
You remember the game between Kenya and Uganda in 2012 in NAMBOOLE? I think that was the time where pressure mounted so much and so big. Unlike here, because this CHAN is at home, and if you look at the team is 6 points, 6 points. And we see we are on the top of the group. We are really nearing the qualification. But only that we need to win this game to be very, very comfortable in today's game.
Yeah, just a reminder to you, in case you've just joined, it's the Total Energies Confederation of African Football CHAN 2024. It comes to you from the 3 East African countries of Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. And the match day 17 is here in Uganda and in Kenya. It's Algeria against Niger at the Nyayo Stadium. All these are in Group C, as is Uganda and South Africa. As it stands, Uganda on 6 points, and the 2 South Africa and Algeria on 5. Of course, Niger is out of the equation. It's about the 3 countries that have got to strike strive so hard and win a game of football to ensure that they qualify to go to the next round of football. For Uganda, it's a monumental game that 2024. But for those of you that don't know, the Chan is about monies as well. If you finish third in the group, you win yourself $300,000 US. When you finish fourth, you take $200,000 US. That means there's still a lot to play for outside of the fact that we're looking to qualify to go into the round of 8 for the very first time. Simon Musoke, before we cross over to Peter Otai, who is waiting on standby to give Ugandans his melodies in terms of commentary, what is your final analysis?
My final analysis is going to be around the point you asked Jackson about the pressure in the camp. I want to stand in the brain or minds of a football fan. Number one is the players at the national team have been selected from the cream de la cream of our local league. That means they have the experience. And when you get to the national team, with all these fans out here coming to watch their cream de la cream, we don't expect anything less of a result in this game. We might say this will come up, that will come up, but the Ugandans want a result out of the game. What is my analysis of the game? My analysis of the game is, number one, like I said, there's a gentleman that we need to outmark that is called Koza. Once we outmark Koza
Malibongwe,
because he handles more than 30% of all South African passes. So if we close that out, it means we've closed out play on South Africa. Two, the South Africans are coming out to outmark Alan Okello, who has been a darling to the crowds and a darling of the tournament. I'm only happy that they brought in another young man who is donning our shirt 10 in the names of the Villa young man.
Patrick Kakande.
Patrick Kakande. Patrick Kakande is equally as lethal as Alan Okello. So if the South Africans forget and outmark Alan, we still have another creator of chances, because the Ugandan team has always suffered because we are short of the people that are creators and quick thinkers in the final third of our opponents. But today going out, we can only pray for them. I know the coach has done his mathematics, and by now, with the money coming from State House, the 1.2 billion, I know the boys are in for it, and they'd like to leave a mark, because once you miss this chance, it might not come back again in your career. So what we're praying for, we have a very good result. Good enough, when you look at the Ugandan goals, they've not been coming from one individual, they've been scattered around, which gives us another opportunity of getting a goal from somewhere, somehow, at one point of time. Lastly but not least, like I said before, in every game, the Cranes have scored. In this CHAN tournament, they have won. South Africa has only had a draw, and in their last 11 outings, they've conceded. So it means it is a team that is conceding goals. What do? If they concede goals, let's push it out, score that goal, defend it, get the 3 points, or push out. At the worst, maybe they would score a goal against us, as we pray for Niger to do its work on Algeria.
Okay, when I was leaving office to come to the fan zone at the King's Park here at Bweyogerere, a colleague of mine told me that, Barnes, let's give this to God. And if we are to give this to God, I'm going to quote from Exodus 11:21, which clearly says that Moses stretched out his hands to the sea, and that very night the Lord drove the sea back using strong eastern winds, and of course the sea dried and the sea divided itself, and the Israelites walked through and went to the promised land. The Israelites in this case are the 11 that Molebie Kwanso has set out for the first half, are the thousands of fans down at the Mandela National Stadium, NAMBOOLE, and the others, including many at the fan zone here at the King's Park in Bweyogerere, whom the Lord has got to help us succeed after 90 minutes. But Peter Otai is waiting on standby for commentary, and I do enjoy a first half of football that may come with goodies for Uganda.
a night where destiny hangs in the balance. History, they say, is written by those that dare to dream. And tonight, at the cathedral of the Ugandan sport, the Uganda Cranes, thick with anticipation, the mood electric already here. You can see what it means for many of those who have come here early. Some of the fans have been here as early as 3 p.m. prompt, and they want to make sure that they witness history unfold in their very own eyes. As the South African flag is stretched out, as so is the Uganda Cranes flag. Questions linger in very many heads. This man on your screen, the coach of South Africa, wants to make history here in the cathedral of Ugandan football. They have a very good setup of players, but the crowd from Uganda, the black, yellow, red, are here to give the noise that befits a king. The only thing that remains is for the players to come out and bless us with their presence. Welcome yet again, everybody, to the cathedral of Ugandan football. The air is thick with anticipation. The mood is very much electric. This match here is just more than a game. It's a collision of dreams, a game of conflicting styles. You can say for the Uganda Cranes, they'll need the prayers to get out of the group stages. They have never been to the promised land. Will today be the day where they cross to the promised land? South Africa lit up with very good performance. And this can be one of their backyards. They have never lost here in Uganda. They've made just only one change. They actually two changes. The team that drew with Niger, Ngonyama is back after that suspension, while Mashego is back in the left back. In this kind of play, where they've actually gone on to squeeze the midfield in order to avoid the Ugandans from playing. Kutumela together with Neymar are the ones leading the attack. And on the bench, Tebogo, Fianda will all be available to be selected just in order to come and give more instrumental push to their side when they are called on tour. It is the Harambe and the village meeting for the Uganda Crane players. They know what is at stake tonight. Modivier Kwaso, Alhan, Sheikh, and of course Aha to the opposition. Jofte have been very outstanding on the right-hand side of the defense. And here we go, Mima together with Torach, a difference in height. Vincent Kabore, all the way from Burkina Faso, is your referee. South Africa win the toss, so they select the side to play from, and Uganda will begin with the ball. Well, this is the photo that will be standing on many gazettes, but let's go down to VAR, led by a Senegalese, Issa Sai, and assisted by a Sudanese, the names of Ahmed Abdallah, who will be the ones in charge of this. The Uganda Cranes have only made one change to the team that got the best of Niger. There is no Joel Serunjoji because of suspension and accumulated yellow cards, but there is a starting place for shot number 10, Jonah Kakande, the footballer from Villa. And looking for the goals, Mpande, Semugabi, and Okello will be the ones given the mantle to go down and look for the goals. Elvis Ingonde, Gideon Odong, Nicholas Mwere, Arnold Odongo, Dennis Chigundu, Ivan Ahimbisiwe, Usama Arafat, all available. That is Pierre Ruhanga, one of the best in terms of giving the command for the Cranes. Alan Okello would be wanting to make it rain in this iconic cathedral of Ugandan football. Well, shortly we shall be going down to the first 45 minutes, a game of serious magnitude here between the two. It's Molly Finseki, the coach of the South Africans. He's up against Molly Biekwaso and Fred Muhumuza. Mali Bongwe will be looking to get the best of Torach into this game. And on that man, one of the top scorers, Tabiso Kutumela, very, very outstanding player. And Molly Biekwaso knows the actual meaning of such a game. He knows what is at stake in this clash here. Just a few seconds before we actually get the game underway. Nelson Mandela lit up with lights that actually befit a king. The countdown is on. Uganda taking the game from the left to the right of your screen. Reverse very true with the South Africans. Welcome to the iconic Nelson Mandela Stadium today as Uganda dares to dream in a clash of two kings. Throw it will be. Began very quickly. Good play by Ndlondo. Float back again onto the wing side. Long clearance, but actually goes as far as Torach, doing very well. Jonah Kakande. Good play by Watambala. It's another huge clearance further inside. Recollected by Joste. Chases on now for the South Africans as they break. And the referee will definitely give that for a free kick. And Hilary Mukunda Nebihogo, the culprit of that, he'll be getting a warning from the referee. The man from Vipers. Was a very good run there by Joste Wade, the 33-year-old footballer, currently unattached, and once played for AmaZulu. That's a good run, really good run there from Joste. Good ball in, very, very good ball. So let's wait and see what comes in from here. Should be a foul. Free kick coming up for the South Africans in a place of potential. As they hold very much fort in this one, they'll be looking to get something for themselves. And the wordings are going on here. Free kick. It will be brought in by Mima Neo. And also standing on this is number 6, Joste Wade. Or the captain of the South Africans is on his way to Simba. And on the other side, Joel Mutakubwa has been very outstanding for the Cranes the last couple of matches, not conceding a goal. Considered 3 against the Algerians and would love to actually keep that rolling. Free kick, swung in well but heavy, just goes away for a goal kick to the Uganda Cranes. Just listen to the boos coming in from the supporters of the Cranes today. This is Uganda's, by the way, best ever CHAN tournament. And if you go down since they began the participation in 2011, this has been their very, very best, winning 2 with 6 points. And their worst ever was actually way back in 2011, where they actually lost almost all. Let's wait and see what comes in from here, really. It's flipped away there by Ngonjama. Into the midfield, Jonah Kakande. Flipping it away. How about Tachai? It's out for another throw, but the referee says it will be for the South Africans. Meima. He's been very outstanding, Meima. 1 goal for him in the current CHAN 2024 campaign. South Africa leaving it to Mpalele. Be the one to throw that ball very much in. Mpalele, currently also unattached at the age of 35. Once played for AmaZulu, played for Mamelodi Sundowns. Is that kind of solid play you need in a game. Ngonyama. Long from Ngonyama, flipped back by Mali Bongwe. The chase is on. A very good steal by Jonah Kakande, but it was a little bit heavy and just goes out for a throw. Ngonyama, he needs to be very careful because he's dealing with some young talented footballers with very good engines. At the age of 35, you might not be having that kind of engine. Ngonyama to throw. 3 minutes of the game already played. South Africa 0, Uganda 0. Well, to remind you that Uganda did lose to the South Africans in their last match here. at the Nelson Mandela Stadium, so you can say that Uganda knows exactly what is in the offing in this match. The last time the two met was on the 15th of November, and that was here, South Africa winning the game by 0-2 in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. Throw to be brought in by Mashego. Moribe Kwaso doesn't look very satisfied and relaxed. The referee says they need to begin that yet again. Terence Mashego. Ngonyama. Flipped on nail by Johannes King. Onto the wing side looking for more play. Mfalele. Long stride. Big header by Bihogo. Ndlondlo. Away again by Ngonyama. Here goes Mashego. Looking for Dolly Keegan. And Torach doing what he's supposed to be doing well here. They're trying to fight. Torach gives it away. Chance through. And finally wept away by Abdul Karim Watambala. Yeah, not very good piece of defensive work there by Torach. Torach actually comes all the way from Mayuge, born in a place called Buyemba. But when you go down to the West Nile dialect, the name Torach actually means death is bad. Dolly Keegan does play also for no team because he's currently unattached. Once played for TS Galaxy, also played for Kaiser Chiefs. Cushioned well by Ndlondlo. Big ball away by Abdul Karim Watsambala. Judse Mugabi taken on by Kakande Jonah. Jonah Kakande taking on two. Good play again by Alan Okello. Abdul Karim Watambala fizzling to Enoch Sebagala. Switching to the left-hand side of the wing. Mpande. Still Mpande. Crisscrossing deep. Cannot get Judse Mugabi. They still have fought. Abdul Karim Watambala. The mixologist. Regan Mpande. Long drive. Big ball away by Mfelele. Not very heavy. Collected by Dolly Keegan. Now the chase is on here. Mashego. Thabiso Kutumela. Kutumela back behind a little. Way by Ngonyama. Keegan Johannes. It's a very long ball from Ndlondlo. Collected by Mashego Terence. Still Terence for the South Africans. Perfectly well. Joel Mutakubwa. And began very quickly. Here goes the mixologist, Regan Mpande. Mpande forgets the ball. Intercepted by Ndlondlo. Mali Bongwe. Mpande Regan does play for Sports Club Villa. Scored about 6 goals last season for Sports Club Villa. Currently has 1 goal in Chan. Also played for Arua Hills, which is currently now playing in big league football. Memanio. Abdul Karim Watsambala. Bihogo. Hilary Mukundane trying to cool down the pressure. Thorach Rogers. Gavin Kizito Mugweri. The noise is very extreme here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium. Thorach. Away there by Ngonyama. Collected at the back by Johannes Keegan. Zulu Semukelo. Began his career at Super Sports B, then upgraded to the A side. Zulu Semukelo. Zulu. Johannes Keegan. Ndlondlo. Change of wing right now, looking to open up on play. They're piecing it up perfectly well. Mfelele Ramalwe. Good reading by Abdul Karim. Mali Bongwe. Mfelele. Johannes Keegan. Back to number 4, Ngonyama. It is Ngonyama. Trying to get that ball deep down. The chase is on. Mashego Terence is up against Gavin Mugweri. Very good play there from the big KCCA footballer. Mashego will be living it out. Gavin Kizito actually is from Busoga but grew up in Luwero. Began his career as a central defender but is now playing as more of a right-back player. Ngonyama, Ndlondlo, Thorach. It's getting away very easily. All the yellow shots are further inside. Trying to press the Ugandan. Zulu Semukelo. Johannes Keegan does play the game of football at Mamelodi Sundowns, only 24 years old. The shot number 3 also played at Supersport United together with Cape Town Spurs and represented well the under 23 side. Mali Bongwe. It's Malibongwe. Big sweep again from the back. Achai Habat, currently signed by KCCA. Played at Express Football Club last season, was at KCCA before. Achai. Omashego Terence. Looking for Dolly Keegan. Good stand again by Torach. Dolly Keegan here. Keegan Dolly. Ngonya Okello gives it away cheaply. Ndlondlo. Oh, what a change of play. Looking for Joste Wade. Pande coming back to defend. Joste Wade can get through. The wall of Jericho standing courtesy of Achai Habat. Footballer that comes all the way from Erute South in Lira, in a place called Bar. What a change. Very good vision coming in from Ndlondlo. Some super sight there. Corner kick, it will be for the South Africans. Remember, against the Algerians, the Ugandans conceded from a corner. So they need to be a little bit wary with the set piece plays from the South Africans here. Okello trying to close on that side. Corner shall be brought in by the South Africans. Just only Ted Ndlondlo. Back again looking for Dolly. Taken on well by Dolly Keegan. Dolly. Long from Dolly. Not the best there from the former TS Galaxy footballer. He's played in France before with a club called Montpellier, and also played at the Ajax Cape Town, that is a club that is down on the local side of South Africa. Just only 32. Currently no club. And also former KCCA. They represent the coaching style of Uganda in the under-23 category. Dolly. Alan Okello can't race. Collected by Ngonyama. Back to the goalkeeper, Zulu Semukelo. Zulu. Mfelele. Ndlondlo. Given away cheaply. Will be a throw for the Uganda Cranes. Well, if you look at the name Ndlondlo, the name of that man there, basically it comes all the way from the Xhosa dialect. It also means the crest on the head of a snake. Ndlondlo. In the Xhosa dialect. Gavin Mugweri Kizito. Okello. Kizito. Abdul Karim Watambala. Back behind a little bit to Joel Mutakubwa. Long change. Was a very good change there from Joel Mutakubwa, but just goes out for a throw into the South Africans. Mutakubwa, 30 years old, plays for Bull Football Club in the Uganda Premier League, also played for Gaddafi at one time and Express. Also featured for Chetume and Toro at one time. Mfalele. Zulu Semukelo. Zulu. Back again to Mfelele. Mfelele doing well over Jonah Kakande. Straight to the path of Bihogo. Mutakubwa. Long from Mutakubwa. Allowed to go on the zero. Malibongwe. Chesson well here. Looking for space, and Rumashego Terence. Ngonyama. Johannes Keegan. Straight back to Mfelele. Ramalwe. Joste Wade. Joste. Flipping it a little bit. Ndlondlo. It's still in Ndlondlo. Holding 40 and Ndlondlo. Looks for options. Lays one through. The chase is from Neymar, but gotten away from the back. Big clearance from the Ugandans. All of them coming back to defend. And Abdul Karim Watambala doing very well to make sure that Neymar Neo doesn't get the right ball in. Another long drive. Will be going straight to the goalkeeper, Joel Mutakubwa. Abdul Karim Watambala, born and raised in Mbale City. Long stride looking for Jutsa Mugabe, collected by Johannes Keegan. Collected again, Kakande stamps on that way. Alan Okello in the box he goes. Okello fakes one. Okello strikes, can't get. Okello lays it through. Another just. Oh, what a save! Zulu, brilliant save. What a save from Zulu Semukelo. Good build up from the Uganda Cranes. Real good build up. Okello with his fake, doing his magic, and then lays it through. And then here goes Abdul Karim, and what a save from Zulu Semukello. Well, I can tell you that everybody in NAMBOOLE was up to celebrate, inclusive of those in King's Park who are watching this live. Hello to you guys. Corner. The action very tight. Oh, look at this. Very, very good play. Ooh, just goes way out from Bihogo. Very close to making it count there. That is Hilary Mukundane. The village. But look at the skills from the boy that comes from Bar in Lira, Alan Okello. And Abdul Karim Watambala failing to connect that well. Good play. Very, very good play. Mfelele. Jutsa Mugabe going hard. Bringing down Mfelele. Well, your referee comes all the way from Burkina Faso. One in charge of this one here. Well, this is the very first time in Chan that Uganda and South Africa are meeting. It's also South Africa's first match against an East African opponent in Chan. Jonah Kakande. Kakande again, trying very much to get things rolling through. Looking to drive. Very good play. Regan Impande loses out. Ndlondlo. Long from Ndlondlo. Here goes Terence Mashesho. Away to Dolly Keegan. Dolly looking for space, can't get one, but actually gets a corner. Gavin Kizito Mugwer is operating in all flanks right now for the Uganda Cranes. That's how tight this game is becoming. This is one of the best chances again we shall talk about. Alan Okello dancing his way, faking two players at the same time almost. But unfortunately, Abdul Karim Watambala just not getting the right shot in. But good save, really good save there from Zulu. South Africa is currently unbeaten in their first 3 games. They drew 0-0 with Niger. Only the second time they have gone 3 consecutive games without a defeat. Also in 2011, South Africa. Good play by Joste, swept in well by Mayor. On the header, the goalkeeper is out. Lucky. Very, very lucky. Oh, the Uganda Cranes were almost punished by that player, Johannes Keegan. Well, you have to admit that Joel Mutakubwa had to come out of his line very early, and that was going to be really costly. As a goalkeeper, when you come out like that, you have to be very sure that you can punch that out. And Johannes Keegan was very close to make out. Johannes again. Just on by Bihogo. Joel Mutakubwa. Torach. Gavin Kizito Mugweri. Torach. Rimwatambal. Straight back to Bihogo. It's Jude Samugabe steals. It's Jude. Long drop. Oh, that was very good skills coming in there from Regan Impande. He's one player on very good form. At one time voted the MVP of the Masaza within Ndika clan. And to remind you, Regan Impande is an engineer, a civil engineer, bachelor's degree all the way from Nteje University. Mfelele, Joste, Johannes Keegan, Ngonyama, Johannes, Mfelele, Mfelele, straight back to Johannes. Johannes can actually be played as a central midfielder or can also play at the back. He's very, very versatile. Chase on. It's good play by Torach. Regan Impande. Away by Bihogo. Zero pass it will be by Mfelele. Hilary Mukundane, best defender of the Uganda Premier League 2022-2023, has played also for Mbarara City, played for Kagoma FC, also played for Ntoda FC. Ngonyama. So far so good. The Cranes keeping the South Africans a little bit behind. Mfalele. Jose trying to open up on the right. Mfalele, big ball, trying to open up on Mashego Terence. Header off him. Kabin Kizito keeps the chase. Big ball back in play. Finally controlled by Enoch Sebagala and away by Torach. Taken on well by Alan Okello. Good play by Enoch Sebagala again. Gavin Kizito Mugweri. Long sweep further inside. Defended by Johannes. Mali Bongwe. Good play by Ndodlo. Mfalele. Johannes. Keegan. Still Johannes. Dolly. Away to Manuel. Johannes. Ndlondlo. Gavin Kizito. Neo Meima. Mashego. Ndlondlo. Cuts it back a little behind. Johannes. Ndlondlo. Mashego Terence. Meima. Neo Meima. Just cannot get that ball through. Ndlondlo standing tall. Mfalele. Joste. Mali Bongwe. Joste. Driving well. Flipped away by Torach. Abdul Karim Watambala stands well. And there will be a foul according to the referee. Mali Bongwe calls up Prince. All the 21-year-old from Mamelodi Sundowns. Had about 105 touches when South Africa played against Niger. Had about 70. The Prince. Shot number 13. Regan in Pande feeling the pinch from that stop. Ihogo. Mutsakubwa. Well, if you look at the last 6 games between these two, Uganda and South Africa, it has actually witnessed some very good scorelines. There has never been a barren draw between these two. Hopefully today we'll be able to see the goals as they come through. South Africa has actually kept only 2 clean sheets against Uganda, and that was registered in 2004. Here, Benny McCarthy was the one that scored the penalty, and also in that 0-2 win in the 2025